Hey, folks, it be the 17th. Wow. Almost Thanksgiving
Yeah.
here in the States. And this is Matrix Talk. And we're going to talk about cults today. We put a cute name on it. Act
Yep.
Matrix Treatment Planning for Cult Deprogramming. We're going to talk about cults using the Act Matrix. And no, we do have somebody on with us. Well, if you're on with us, chat in like I did. I said greetings from Maine. And there
I
is
said hello,
Bill has
Reinhold.
hello. So we got that. So you can do that. And what other housekeeping is there, Phil?
Well, I see Jerry has written something, and there's always the recording is always here right after the crowdcast. You just come right back, and you put your email in, and there you go. We'll be here
Right.
after the fact. But in the meantime, if you do show up, do just what we said. Please type in who you are and where you're from. We always like to hear from where people are from and what they're up to.
Yep.
And that's down there in the lower right. You go up to the top. You can share. Set up for notifications, right? You can click there and be notified when Matrix Talk goes live and when we have events coming up.
Yep.
And let's see. The other thing would be, that green button down there on the bottom. We highly recommend that you give it a click.
Look at that. Yeah, that's Apple. That's Apple, Phil.
Is it Apple doing that?
Yep.
Now, Kevin, the other day I was talking with somebody, and all of a sudden the balloons popped up on my Zoom call.
And that's because it's Apple, and they have a gesture. It senses when you make a gesture, and it does that. So it's not. So you go like that. No, say there goes. You did it. So that's why. And so,
all right. Oh, this is fun.
Whatever. And so, anyways, what is it? Oh yeah, go buy something.
Yeah. Check out one of our courses. People have been purchasing the courses. And we're getting a lot of very nice feedback on the courses. They're liking them. They're finding them very useful. And also, if you're ever at some point interested in Act Matrix certification, it is not required at all to do the Act Matrix. Never, ever required. But we come across people in their line of work, for whatever reason, would like to be certified, or maybe your employer you want to have a certification. So we can help you out with that too.
Yep. And we've had all of that.
Yep.
People need that, and we will do that. And I guess we're ready.
I think that's it.
Housekeeping has been done.
We've covered the bases again.
All right. So how did this come about? Well, for more than one thing, but I will admit, because of streaming services,
yes,
and almost all the streaming services had documentaries, and I like them. And I've ended up watching several documentaries about cults. I don't know if Phil has watched documentaries.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so, so this came about. We were watching them again, and it came about. It's like, well, every once in a while, somebody wants to know what you do if you encounter somebody, who's been in a cult, right?
Absolutely.
They're post-cult, I guess.
Yeah, they're coming in. It might be one of their presenting things at some point. Yep.
Yes, it might be one of their presenting things. And so we just named it cult deprogramming. And as I said, what we're going to do is talk about cult behavior.
Yeah.
In regards to
prior to the deprogramming, the programming part.
Right. And and it's like I've heard it said and written, seen it written that nobody wakes up in the morning and decides today is the day I'm going to go join a cult.
No,
that's not the way it works.
Not a valued direction, as we
it's not something that that. And so usually you're You're searching for something.
Yeah, you're a seeker.
You're a seeker. That's what they're called. You're a seeker, and really, you're seeking answers. The main thing.
Right. Oh, there's Andrew. Hey, Andrew from New Zealand.
Oh, well, hi. So you're seeking. And so here you are, you're seeking answers.
Yep.
And somehow it has come across, and cults have been around long before the internet. So,
Man.
and so whenever you encounter a person or written material, or now
somebody tells you about somebody.
Right. And of course now it's posts, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
Yep.
Well, formerly known as Twitter. And it tickles your curiosity because you want that answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the main thing about cult folks cult leaders, let's say, is that they're going to promise you the answer.
Yeah.
And they've anticipated your question. Would that be correct, Phil?
That is spot on.
Right. So, and there's other things, charlatans and grifters.
That's what it used to be called back in the day.
Right, and stuff, have that same thing, of that they know you have questions. We all have questions.
Yes.
And they put it before you that they're going to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as opposed to a product, which a lot of them end up selling products too. Now the product is going to cure what ails you.
Right.
So, but for most part, cults start with what you have questions, we have answers.
Yep.
And this has been studied lots. They've figured out what questions people are asking, and they are marketing to those people.
They know how to respond.
Right. And so the person shows up, and they tell you what you want to hear.
Yes.
I'm not gonna pussyfoot around this.
No, that's exactly. They tell you what they want. Right.
They tell you what you want to hear, and you get sucked into it.
Yep.
And oh, that feels so good. Those are the answers, just the answers I was looking for.
Yep.
Which is funny because that means you already knew the answer anyway.
Yeah.
I needed some outside source to tell me.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, most cults have to do. There's religious cults.
Yeah.
Well, I think really they're all religious cults. They're just all religious cults. It's just on what kind of religion you prefer. So if it's more of sort of a Jim Jones, a little bit more mainstream kind of.
Right. Or maybe you want to go more new agey.
You want to go over to the new agey, crystals
and
stuff like that. But it still has a real religious.
Yeah. The spiritual connotation
to it. So whatever your is, and that would be for the cult and who they're marketing to, and what you're looking for. And what was the Nexium cult, where they were bringing people in, and I think they wanted to be super successful, right?
Yes.
So they were selling success,
right?
But still, the guy that was the leader, he was didn't call himself God, but it was something like that.
Yeah.
And still, so there's always that. But whenever you have a supreme leader, they get godlike, and here we go. So now the people are in it. So why are they seeking these answers? Well, did their questions come from their five senses, or did their questions come from their minds?
Here, I'll help. I'm visual here.
And now we're on the matrix, folks. We just cut through it because this is the process that we show. The matrix, and we were discussing this earlier at a mastermind. And if you wanted, you can join up our mastermind too.
Oh yeah.
The it's a process. That's all it is. It's a process. So the matrix, this is sometimes I call it like paint by numbers way of entering into and here we go, respectful process. So it's respectful. It's non-judgmental. The process just lends itself to people feeling heard. Okay. So if you're being respectful and you're listening to what people are saying and they're feeling heard, well, you're a long way down the road to where you want to be.
Yep.
And in the case we were talking this morning, it was about mediation.
Oh, yes.
Different thing. But I guess in a way you're mediating somebody out of a cult mentality with this. So we're going to do that. So where these questions have arrived, I'll get back to where I was. They've come out of the mind. And excuse my cough, I'm recovering from a cold. And we won't get into the theoretical reasons why, but the mind can generate it literally an infinite number of questions. It's infinite. But most people, why am I here?
Here. Yep. That's the basic question.
That's the basic one, right? So a cult leader comes along and says, I can answer that question for you.
Definitively.
Yes. I can just nail it, hammer it. You come and take some, here we go, lessons with me. And after you take some lessons with me or my fellow folks.
You're just the kind of person I want to bring along with me.
Your answer to why you're here will become crystal clear to you. And oh my gosh, this is what I was looking for.
Yep.
I have all these questions about why I am here. I will get into it's language based, folks. Okay. And let me get back a little bit. But I might as well. I got to go there, Phil. I just got to go.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
That's
where it is. It's the whole deal right there.
Right. You're born, and here's this little baby. No language, just baby.
Okay, let's go here.
And that's a little being, but it's a little being that is not self-awareness yet.
Yeah.
That hasn't shown up yet.
It's just kind of floating around.
And people will give you a name.
Yep.
you have a name. There it is. But it's not talking.
Nope.
And so this process from when you're born or a baby is born until they develop language, and in particular like the language that sounds like this. Wow, I am here, you are there. That basic language, and this usually has to do, the popular example is mom or dad. I am here, mom's over there.
Yep.
And that separation and that being able, and people think, oh, that's this powerful mystical thing. It's language, folks. And when you said, I am here, you just put yourself into existence. You just became this verbal being that now will forever refer to yourself as me or your name, or whatever. And that comes directly from your language. Well, language is infinite, and the questions about that are infinite. And you will forever, all humans, save, some serious brain disorders and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they all have that question finally shows up. Here it goes. Why am I here? Okay. And it just shows up. And for most of us, we figure it out, or we got maybe you're a member of some mainstream religion, and that's what mainstream religions do, by the way. They give
Yep.
you an answer for why you're here. And for whatever reason, they're mainstream, and so there's no questions asked. Okay. But then there's the cult form that will come along and answer that question for you, why you were here. But the question will always be there, but it has nothing to do with you being born.
Nope.
Just none whatsoever. You were born. You didn't have any control over it.
Yep.
Wasn't your deal.
Yep. No lie to it. You showed up.
But now this verbal mind of yours, mine too, will go asking, well, why was I born? I mean, come on, the answer is clear.
Really?
Because your mom and dad got together.
Yeah.
That's why. And all kinds of other, biology happened, if you want to get into that. But then, of course, it goes, oh, no, that's nowhere. That's just a concrete answer. I don't want that.
It has to be more.
Has to be more, has to be bigger, has to be more meaning to it. And of course, there goes your mind, and then it keeps on going. All minds do this. This is not new. And so anybody that's got any good grifter, let's say, knows that question's out there, knows that there's always going to be quite a number of people that want that question answered, and there's a smaller but still significant number of people that will give you money to try to get it answered. So that's cult 101.
Yeah.
That's just true. And it's always going to be that way. It's not going to go away. People wanting that answer for why I'm here. And it goes on and on and on. So somebody's been in a cult, and then now it doesn't usually work out very well.
No.
In these cults. Okay. One, because they don't have an answer.
Yeah.
They can make one up. Hell, I can make one up right here.
Yeah, they can keep generating answers, but they really don't have.
Right. Phil and I's difference is we know that anything we generate is as much bullshit as
Going out of our minds too.
Anybody else's bullshit. We know it's all bullshit, so we're not going to give you that. But they're not going to do it that way. They're going to say, we have the answers. Come join us. Come, travel to mystical places with us and discover all this. And things after that, things get weird.
Okay. Yeah.
The sex comes in, the money comes in, the drugs.
Yep. Yep.
All kinds of manipulative stuff that people could do to you when you bought into that they have the answer for my life. My reason for being here in this universe. Okay.
Once they capture your attention, they've captured you. It's really kind of the idea.
They have the verbal you.
Yeah, they've got it.
They've got that verbal you. It's not the physical you.
No.
Not that. It's the verbal you that they've gotten a hold of. And so now they'll manipulate you into invariably nefarious stuff.
Doing their bidding.
Yeah. And like the Nexium cult, the guy was branding women with his initial.
Yeah.
Or he wasn't doing it, but he had women that were branding other women with it.
Yeah, it was awful.
This is awful stuff that they get into. And so that comes back to that basic thing. We're going to be the answer for why you were here. You will go to your grave knowing you were a part of this cult. And by the way, that happens. They all die because they're got to go up to space.
Yeah.
Wherever.
They all go together.
And that's where the answer is up there. That's their identity. It's very much about identity.
Yeah.
But remember, whenever you said, I am here, right there. You don't even have to say the second part. Once you say, I am here, boom. Your verbal being, what I would call a verbal being, just jumped into existence.
Yep.
It just does. And all of us humans are equipped with that. all around the globe. It happens everywhere. Everybody gets that that I am here. So me here, you there. That's the basic thing. And there's all kinds of other fancy stuff you can go with that. But back to the cults, that's what they take advantage of. Because eventually you're going to say, well, okay, so I'm here. Why the hell am I here?
Yeah.
But, and if most people aren't so tied up with that question that they forget about taking the garbage out and stuff.
Yeah.
They just keep doing their thing. But there's a few that get all the way into cults. I would go back to like the mainstream religions. For the most part, they don't get into the the ripping you off and grifting,
right?
Doing and stuff. Now they can, but for the most part, they don't. I'm not trying to really. That's the difference. There's a lot of similarities, but they try to steer clear of that kind of stuff. Where the cults, by definition, no, they're going to go. You're going to be in. You're going to be hurting.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. You're going to end up living in a situation that's not very good.
They close ranks.
Having sex with people you have no business having sex with.
Right.
All kinds of weird stuff going on. And so they've gone in, they've had a bad time of it, and it all goes to heck. Maybe they don't all kill themselves because they want to go to a spaceship up above, and they start coming out. Okay, so now they're ex-cult. Okay, so here's where this comes in. Now they're coming to see us. Now, the answer isn't go find a better cult. I think probably some do that.
Oh, there are probably, let's call them serial cult followers. They might enter into a cult and then for whatever reason they become disillusioned or they get kicked out because they're not going along with the plan.
They're not drinking.
Not drinking the Kool-Aid, right? Yeah.
And by the way, that comes from the Jim Jones cult.
Yeah.
That drink the Kool-Aid. He had them drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid. But in reality, they just flat shot a bunch of them and killed them.
Yeah, right.
It was really bad. But the drink the Kool-Aid actually comes from a cult. French Guiana, right?
Yes. They went out. They were in Africa. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, yuck. And so, but whatever, you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, and if you're not going to do that, you're not going to follow the rules. They're going to kick you out.
Yeah, which is one of the ways they keep you in. Either you're going to toe the line, or you're going to be excommunicated.
Right. And then we get to another human trait. We're all very powerfully afraid of being kicked out of the tribe.
Yeah.
Because there was a time in our past that was death.
Yep, you're naked. You're naked and alone. Really.
And you're going to die.
Yeah, and you're vulnerable.
Right. And if you don't watch the show Alone, one of the best shows ever, and it shows how humans, even the best, most prepared humans for this kind of stuff, don't do well alone. Okay, they're not going to make it. They're just not, and for good damn reason, because humans are social. We share labors. Phil chops the wood, I carry the wood, somebody else does the water, somebody else. It takes a tribe of us to come together to keep everybody afloat, to keep everybody living. So we all have that very powerful fear of being kicked out. So then that sets in. So now you're going to get kicked out of the cult. And your mind doesn't process that, well, that doesn't mean I'm going to die, but that's the fear that sets in. So, but you get out of it, and so then it's, well, what are we going to do with this person who's still got a lot of the cult stuff going on, but they're out of the cult?
Still got a lot of the questions. Remember those questions are still down there.
The question's still there. It's even worse now because
Yeah. That was even more question, right?
they thought they got it answered and it didn't get answered. Got bashed. So the number one thing of anything that we do in the process of doing this is represented in the matrix by the vertical line. Okay. And what all of us humans have trouble doing, and this, because of our verbal minds, because of our minds, is we have trouble noticing the difference between our sensory, what's coming in through our senses, versus what our mind is telling us. Okay. And the more trouble you have with that, toward the side of you're believing everything that your mind is feeding you, you can get all the way into what's known as psychosis. That you're just living in a mentally derived world. Now you'll be convinced that it's not, but it is.
Yep. You're the last one to know.
Only very few of us have ever gone and actually visited with people like this. I know I have.
Yep.
Bill probably has.
Yes.
With folks, psychotic folks like that.
Really disconnected.
And they did have a devil of a time. Well, it's so bad their sensory inputs are askew.
Cut off.
Right. They're seeing colors and stuff.
Yeah. Hearing voices.
Right. Things are really, really, really fouled up. Okay. And so, but you get off of that and you come all the way back to this normal people. We have this, we tend to believe what our mind is telling us, what it's making up. And the antidote for that is to get outside of your mind and notice your five senses. And that process of getting out of your mind and into your life, which is Steve Hayes' book, 2005 book, it's called Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life, is about that process that you just can't believe all that your mind is telling you. You just can't. Not even the most sane of us can believe all that our mind is saying because it's just constantly coming up with stuff.
Always generating down here.
This is constantly generating stuff, as Phil said. And so, a good part of it, it has, I mean, like worries, common everyday worries. Have any of you now are listening to this crowdcast or the recording of this crowdcast, had irrational worries? They call them irrational. They're not reality based. There's nothing in your five senses experience
going on around you
that is telling you that there's something to worry about. Yeah. The worry is coming all from inside your head. It's inside of you. And so that's what, usual. So that's the process that you're going to introduce these cult people to, the ex-cult people. You can go introduce it to cult people if you want.
You can try, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to kick you right out.
It's going to bounce right off them.
Yeah, it's not. They're not going to buy it. Yeah. We're not saying
this after the fact stuff.
This is after the fact. I was saying, and really, that's the biggie, folks, is that just keep bringing people back to that. And I call it in this, noticing the difference. Noticing the difference between what your five senses, and with these folks, I would really stick with the five senses.
Yep.
Okay, don't go that proprioception stuff.
Nope.
These people are a little loose anyway.
Yeah, we're not doing visualization exercises.
We're not doing that.
No.
See, hear, taste, touch, smell. Boom. The basics. And so what information is coming in through those senses, and compare that, notice the difference between that and what your mind is up to. And you just gotta hang there.
Right.
And get back there as often as you can with these folks. You can do all kinds of other verbalization stuff. Okay? Good luck with that.
Uh-huh.
It's any human can take anything said and just
Twist it up. Twist it up.
in literally less than a second.
Yep.
Literally less than a second. That's not where your answer is.
Nope.
And of course, you have no to disrespect that they were in a cult or something. It's just insane. Don't do that.
No.
I mean, just be kind. Understand, but they're where they're at.
Be
And the
respectful.
main thing is that you can show them the matrix or not show them the matrix, whatever. You know, do all of that. But the main thing is that comparison between what's coming in through your five senses, and if they have to slow down and say, okay, I'm seeing this right now. Okay, I'm hearing this right now. Okay, I'm feeling, touching this right now. If you have to slow it down and do that, that is fine. That is fine. Now, while that is happening, the mind is still going. Those two things are not independent. They are totally linked.
You can't separate them out.
Well, parallel process. They're absolutely happening together. So now what's going on in your mind? And just keep that up.
Yep.
Now, if you listen to people who have not been kicked out of a cult, but just opted out, they went, not for me.
Yeah.
If you hear them talk, this is what they did. They paid attention to what their eyes and their ears, especially those two, and what other senses were telling them.
Yeah. They walked in and they saw something and they heard something.
And they went, no, that doesn't compute. That doesn't, that's not okay. They paid attention to their five senses, and that's what they did. Instead of looking past them, that's what the cults rely on.
Yeah.
Is that you suspend your five senses and only believe what your mind, which is now totally wrapped up in the cult thinking mind, is telling you. So pretty soon, this weird sex stuff is okay. This weird drug stuff is okay. It's selling people junk products is okay. It becomes that very quickly. Now then we get into the grifter stuff, and of course the grifter stuff is they know what's going on.
Yeah.
They just know to manipulate you and give you answers and sell you products to fix problems that are not real, but they know it. A grifter is just a grift. It's a charlatan. It's somebody that knows how to separate you from your money.
They're being deliberately deceitful.
They're deceitful, right? And they're deliberate. Okay. And by the way, they hang around cults because it's a good way for them to make money.
They function really well within a cult. They can hang out there and grift away.
And grift and make money.
Yeah.
And so that's not unusual at all to see a grifter, which is somebody who really hasn't bought into the cult stuff, but they're there to make money.
They can see the opportunity.
Or get sex and drugs.
For their purposes. Right.
For their purposes, right, for what they want. So back to that, but they're just, once again, but they're still preying on that basic thing. Who are you? Why am I here?
Right.
And it turns out, you know what, Phil? You were given the wrong name.
Yeah.
Should have been given the name. Here we go.
Here's the name.
And they told you were born somewhere.
Yeah.
You're an ancient soul.
Yeah.
You were originally born thousands of years ago.
On another planet, maybe even.
Even that. You see, I can do it. I can do it. Any of you can go learn this.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm not going to do that.
Stories have been written, right? About just this sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to go do this to people. But anybody who's really deep down seeking those answers to who you are, well, I'll tell you who you are,
Yeah.
and then I'll even give you a different name, which is very popular in the cults.
Oh yeah.
They rename you.
It's a status thing when you get a new name.
I know. I feel better when I'm called executive
Right.
vice president.
Yeah. You get that psychology after your name. You go, oh, cool.
Oh, I'm cool, right? So yeah, it's another, and what's that? That's status within the tribe.
Right.
That means you're higher up in the
You're
tribe.
moving up. You're moving up.
The probability of getting kicked out of the tribe is now
Yeah.
less.
Your place is secure within our organization.
And so, by the way, if you did want to present that to cult people, it's like all of us, I mean, the ex person that you're working with, all of us people have this basic fear of being kicked out.
Yeah.
So if you become part of a tribe, you instantly now have a problem that you're afraid of getting kicked out of that.
And you have to keep maintaining that status to stay in.
And that's just human nature 101. Yeah. That's just everybody, except for the grifters. They don't give a flip.
No.
But that's a whole different story. That's a different crowdcast. So we've gone through it. So the biggie is they've come out. We're deprogramming.
They've come to you.
Oh yeah, they used to kidnap them, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, they used to abduct them.
Yeah.
The family or the friends would go and rip them out.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
No.
Very often they go running back too.
Yeah, that just setting them up for the run right back to it. So you don't want to do that. So no, this is people that for however they're out. They've gotten out.
Yep.
And you're going to see them. Number one thing, notice the difference between your sensory experiences and your mental experiences. And you just can't believe everything your mind tells you.
Yeah.
No human can. None of us can. Your mind, the human mind, any human mind can literally think up an infinite number of things.
Make up and
if you want to know where infinity really comes from, that's it.
Yep.
It's just that the human mind is infinite in its ability to just jam stuff all up together and go, ooh, wow.
Yeah. Look what I made.
Yeah. Hey, you just came up with it out of nowhere, literally. It was your dendrites and neurons.
Slam stuff together.
It brings it up. And so you just can't trust your mind. That's why the book, Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. So into your life is and you'll hear Phil and I say, the chop wood, carry water. Why? Because chopping wood is chopping wood. Carrying water is carrying water. It has nothing to do with the mind. I mean, maybe a little bit. You got to do a little bit of how do I chop the wood?
Right. How much wood do I need? Yeah.
Right, that kind of stuff. But none of this mystical stuff about it.
Nope.
And so that's what you want to get back to. And that's a process that's going to take a while.
Chip away at it kind of thing.
And then it's like what's the reality and what is your mind up to? What is it up to? And it's okay, my mind is up to X. Okay. And how does that fit with reality? How does that fit with And when we mean reality, we're not talking somebody else's reality.
Yeah.
Yours.
What's going on in your five senses?
Your five senses experience, right? And you just keep coming back to that. This will eventually work. They will do it.
Yep.
They might still be what we describe as a flake or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Earth's children, and
they may carry around some interesting ideas.
Right. A lot of this, the crystals and chakras and whatever people come up with.
Essential oils, whatever, right?
You're right. No, I'll go with the essential oils. I just learned in that latest documentary about the colloidal silver. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's
No, 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 no,
never
no,
a good idea.
no, 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 no. And any essential oil, I mean, if they start to get having lead and arsenic stuff in them, don't do that. But a lot of it's just harmless. Okay? Incense and stuff like that. It's pretty harmless. And fine. New Age is what we called it
Yes.
back in the day. The New Age. It's been around a long time. So they'll be into that kind of stuff. Fine. They're not going to march down to Wall Street and start selling stocks. It's not.
No.
Or start working on your refrigerator or something. It's not going to be that. There's still going to be that, but still they need to practice staying in contact with their five senses. What's going on? And by the way, folks, you say, well, where did Kevin come up with that? This is it. It's the difference between your nonverbal you, that's the five senses, and the verbal you, which is here I am, me. Nonverbal is up top, verbal is at the bottom. And you're just noticing that difference between the nonverbal you and the verbal you. Please. Gosh. I would imagine that something like 95% or something of the verbal you is unnecessary. You only need a little bit to operate in the world. The rest of it's just your mind making up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It is dangerous. It's dangerous as hell.
Yep.
You create all kinds of guns and weapons and things that blow up the earth and all this badass stuff and I don't mean badass in a good way either, bad way. Stuff that the human mind is coming up with.
Yeah.
Not one, lots of us. We join together, so always good. But for cults, have them compare those two. Let you in on another little thing. If you've watched this recording, that's really all Phil and I focus on.
That's it. That is it.
Don't pay any attention to toward away. What's the other one?
Contentment and relief we do, yeah.
We don't pay any attention.
No.
That takes care of itself.
Yeah, no, people will notice that as they're doing it.
But what folks do have trouble with is noticing the difference between five senses and mind. And you can't help it. It's because you're your mind.
Yeah.
It just won't stop. I mean, wait, anybody here, if you're still with us, you wake up at 4:00 in the morning, what's your mind up to?
Oh, yeah.
The more wee hour of the morning it is, the worse.
Oh, Phil, I've been waiting for you to wake up. It's like
so,
a puppy dog, right? I've been waiting for you to wake up.
So I can feed you all kinds of worries.
Yeah, really.
Irrational fears.
How about that? And what if this happens? And
then we get into the what ifs. What if this happens? And this is just your mind. Everybody's got one. It's just a pain.
It's an occupational hazard of being human.
And then how do I get out of that? Oh, I'll go join a cult.
Maybe they'll have the answer.
And that's it. It's always the answer, folks. It's always the answer. Always selling the answer. Well, it's two answers. The two biggies. Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah.
Or why are you here and who are you? By the way, that's the biggies. And so they're going to give you an identity within the cult.
Right away.
And you're going to feel great. Because you're
going to belong.
And especially the loners of the world and they're lonely and they don't really attach to anything.
They don't feel like they fit in anywhere.
Right. So you'll fit right in because they'll make sure. What do they call that when they're love bombing you?
Yeah.
So
now they can say, I've never felt like this before ever. This is the best feeling I've ever had.
Yeah, and it's a big old group hug they're giving you.
Yep.
But not a very genuine group.
No.
And the terminology is love bombing.
Yep.
Initially, and so you're going to feel great until that runs out.
Yep.
But there's always some hangers-oners that even with the cult after the cult leader dies.
Oh yeah, till the bit they can't let go.
They can't let go of that identity. Why? Because it's who they are.
Yeah.
And
Well, not this. Now I'm back to the question again. Who am I? And I just and that question's already been answered for me. So
right, and I don't want to go back to not knowing who I am here. I don't want to go back to that. And you know what? I get that.
Yep.
I really do. I get that. I do.
Yeah. Took a lot of work to get to this question being answered for me here.
Yeah, you know, if you'll notice, we're not judging these people.
No.
No, not at all. They're just being human.
Yeah.
And there are humans out there that take advantage of other humans.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, well, dare we say they're looking for relief. They're looking for some
They're looking for relief. Right? They're not comfortable with who they think they are, so they want to find something different. And the cult, most any cult will give you an answer.
Oh, yeah.
But they would be fine if that's all they did. But they get called a cult because they start taking your money and they start physically abusing you and sexually abusing you. Other kind for any kind of a form of abuse you can think of. And then that's just not cool.
Yeah.
It's just not cool. So you're working with people after that. Make sure, and for your own, dare say, sanity or whatever, comparing your five senses experience with that. I heard a dude that had gotten out of a cult, and he literally said what he did, and he went and did, I think he called it blue collar work. But what he meant was he went and did carpentry and shoveling and landscaping, stuff that he could do with his hands, work with his hands. And that helped him get out of it. That's it. That's the difference between.
Stay connected to his five senses, yeah.
Stay connected to the five senses. So we're not making this up at all. This is how you do it. You get reconnected with your five senses. And by the way, lots of meditations and stuff, not cult meditations, but real ones involve getting connected with your five senses. And whatever your mind tells you, just remember who's telling you.
Right.
Especially when it tells you you're brilliant.
Consider the source.
Always consider the source.
Wait a minute, what's going on of me? Oh, hold on there.
It's not a very good source. It's not. You can tell Phil and I through all of this, we have a healthy. We take our minds with a big old dash of salt. It's more than a grain. It's a lot. So do that. Go do that, and enjoy. And if you want to hear more about cults, all the Netflix and what you
HBO Max got
back.
Yep.
Probably on Prime and all of them. They'll have the cult documentaries, and some of them are pretty good.
Yep.
Well done. Like any documentary, some of them aren't. Well, like any movie, some of them aren't well done. Well, just turn those off and go find a good one and watch. But if you watch several, you'll see the similarity.
Yeah.
What they're doing.
It's the same playbook.
It's the same playbook. There's no difference. They name everything different, but the same thing.
Yeah. Different words, same book.
And it's always, here's who you are, here's why you're here.
Right.
And now we're going
to start. Here's why you must follow me.
Now and do weird shit with
it. Right.
And yikes. Then it goes bad. So they're all just being humans. They're just like the rest of us. They're just looking for answers. And I guess Phil and I just have discovered that there isn't any. There's not any. You're here.
You showed up. Now, now what?
and do whatever. Whenever go help people, go do things with your five senses. Go help people and stuff. What we do,
Seems to work out.
It works. Pretty good. Oh, I hear music.
Yes, that would be my wife is playing some piano.
Phil.
That is not a hallucination. That is actually
no. The baby grand, or is it baby or a full grand?
Yeah, baby grand. Yeah,
it's a baby grand down in his house. So. At one time, he had two.
Yes,
I tried to get him to put them end to end.
We need a bigger house.
Yeah, he kept talking about an addition.
Not gonna
happen. Oh well. Well, you could do a baby and an upright. You could do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've got a electric piano somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that fits too. Hey, what you need is the baby grand, and then one of those jazzy ragtime.
Oh yeah,
pianos.
Yeah,
and you need that.
Nice little upright thing.
Nice variety.
There. Yep. Could notice the difference.
Notice the difference between the. Oh well, you guys have fun. Go watch some cult. We don't recommend you join a cult.
No,
don't do that.
Watch, don't join.
Watch, don't join. Okay, bye now.
See ya. Take care.